Hi folks, Nathan Clegg here. I'm going to go over the things I've done to optimize um, the stuff you'll be getting from me. So let's go ahead and just jump right in and I'll start explaining. When you go to, excuse me, when you go to the Anubis Writer, aka Nate, my folder, and you drill down into the models folder, you'll find you'll find a folder called Ant Animations and Animator Controllers. Inside that, you'll find two models. For now, you'll find two models that contain all the animations that are used within this project. So if you take a look at the Ant animations, it has everything and four new ones added to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that means. So let's click on that and come over here. So the four new ones is pick up, carry walk, carry idle, and put down. What I've done is I noticed that some of the models, well, not some of them, every single model inside the LOD 0, 01, and 02 all had animations inside of them. Now they don't. They no longer obtain these kinds of animations inside of them. They are all by themselves, but they still have the armatures that allow these animations to be run inside of them. So let me see if I can explain this. Let's go to, let's see here. Ant worker walk, where are you? There you are. Okay, so you can see that this is ant walk, which is right here. But if you look inside here, there's no queen. That's because I realized that, I used the same exact armature to make the queen. The warrior, on the other hand, is a little bit different because of the size of his head. The animations don't work that way with it, so it has its own set. But those that do, like the queen walk and everything else, pull directly from the controller that has the ant walk in it, which exists within the ant animations for the ant, which is here. Let's go ahead and play that. You can see that's happening. Well, with it inheriting that, let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like inside the queen's play spot here. If you play the animation, it's doing the exact same thing. So that cleans up a lot of space that was being used for the animations that were being stored in here that were never actually being called. The only thing that was being called is the avatar and the animator. So I cleaned that up. Also, with it being this way, the next time that I decide, well, not the next time, when I add more animations for like the warrior or the ant worker, which is going to happen, it won't impair things that have already been put into somebody's project, because the only thing that you need to change is the animator that each one of your things are using, which if you do know what you're doing, the animator is here, and you can have every one of these animations set up inside of here that are being called by parameters and script to do certain things at certain times. So when I add more animations, the only thing that changes for you is going here instead of replacing every single one of the models that you have running in there, you only have to come in here and change out the animations from the old to the new, which to me felt like a lot easier process than what I had to go through before I figured out there's a much easier way to do this. So I've done all that work for you. I also eventually will get around to body parts and ANT prefabs, but that's going to come in a later version. I needed to do this cleanup first. But I also had a lot of people having problems with the size of these ants. They weren't sizing up correctly. So this ant is approximately 1 unit by 1 unit by 1 unit. And how you can tell that that is absolutely and positively true is you go ahead and you drop a cube in here and zero that cube out so that it's on the same spot. So you can see that 1 unit by 1 unit by about a half a unit, if you ask me, is what this ant is. It's not going to be, how do I explain? It's a half a unit in the y-axis, but that's not going to make a difference here as long as you scale it up correctly. It's still this 1 unit by this 1 unit by this 1 unit, which is a cube, the size of a cube, which also, if you take a look at your free display plate that I've put in there, platform, it is also in the X, in the X and Z axis, I do believe, is 1 unit by 1 unit. It's not as tall as a 1 unit, but that's still not the point. Also, a lot of people are like, I can't find the ant. I don't know where it's at. Normally, when you start a Unity project in 3D, you'll be something like this, depending on your layout that you got going on. If you drop your ant in there, which would be this ant right here, and it's showing this little thing right here, if you just go ahead and double click on the ant, it will take you right to it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn on the same ant that's inside this display platform container that I got going on here. I guess it doesn't matter which one, so that you can kind of see the difference in size. This one is 0.01 scale all the way across. That was so that it sits on this platform, the inner portion of this platform, cleanly. But if you're still like, I don't want it 1 unit by 1 unit, I want 100 units by 100 units by 100 units, that is super easy to deal with. If you go here, not in here, you don't want to, I recommend that you do not change the size in here if you're changing it all the way across the games board. You'll want to go here, not in the inspector, but down here to your model, your default model, and it'll bring this thing up. You go to model, and right here it says scale factor. This is file scale, won't let you change that. But scale factor, if you change that to 100 and hit apply, it is now scaled both ants based off of, okay, so this ant is inside this platform. So it's going to look like that because it's inside here. It's shrink for a reason. But this ant is now registered at 1 unit by 1 unit by 1 unit, but inside here it is registered at 100 units by 100 units by 100 units. So if you understood all of that, This is the easiest way to change that. But leaving it here at the most commonly used, which is 1 unit by 1 unit by 1 unit, is where I'm going to leave it. I've changed something so it's a little bit easier, like the scale here is 100 by 100 by 100, but the armature is also that, so that when you run an animation with it, somebody said that they were having problems with the animation not doing what it was supposed to. Now it should. Like if you take, let's go ahead and delete this, turn this guy off again, close this, pull in this ant worker and apply a, let's just do ant walk to it. And then without going to the folder here and scaling it up here, we scale it up here now 100 by 100 by 100. Okay, and if you take a look now, let's go ahead and close this down. Where are you? Thank you. Come back here. You can see that the animation is working correctly. So I don't remember your name, but if you watch this again, I am really sorry that that happened. Now, the next time you try to scale it inside the inspector instead of inside the model itself, the animation will work just fine. And it shouldn't matter how many times you scale it. It should work 110% fine. So, again, I am sorry about that, and I hope this helped you. All right, give me a second to go over what I've already went over in my list here. Hold on. I'll be honest, I think that's about everything. I went over why I changed the animation so that it's easier. I went over the scale that I changed so that it would properly scale. I also shared a new way to scale. What's next? I might have already said this, but later on I will work on the body parts for every one of the ants and prefabs so that you have, like, I might pull in Unity's default controller and set up the ant so that it's a prefab of an ant that you can walk around with using my animations, maybe interact with something. But that's further down the road. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this video / tutorial was helpful. Enjoy my ants.